What is sensory processing disorder in autism, and how can the public give more support? To start this conversation, I talked to Daniel Jones from the YouTube channel The Aspie World.
So autistic people will either be hypo or hypersensitive to certain exterior stimuli, which will be sensory based stimuli. You could be in I don't know, like a typical grocery store, and we've got a deli counter. So the deli counter has a certain smell coming off it. Then there'll be somebody walking around with a cleaning machine cleaning the floor, and there's like the smell of the cleaning liquid. So you have like two inputs going on. Then the noise of the cleaning machine is another input. Then there's people and crowd noises going on. Then there's the bright lights from the actual stall going on. And then you have to try and think, I'm in here to buy whatever Doritos or whatever you're going in there for. And you're trying to like navigate around it. And it's just like, whoa. So all of this input, it's kind of like filling up a cup and it overflows. So that it's an outburst of kind of just like emotional data that you can't process or you can't communicate to your body. The ignorance comes from the fact that they think that you're not going to be able to deal with anything, when in fact they could just say to you, hey, Joe Blogs, like, what do you have issues with? And then they'd be like, oh, just smell or just sound or just light or whatever, and then you'd have an easier transitional period. You'd think that the misconception would come from the fact that people just don't accommodate autistic needs, and in actual fact that they're scared to. I think that's another thing.
What could we do to help people that could have sensory processing disorders?
Well, there is a campaign with the National Autistic Society, which I've been a part of now for a few years, which is not brilliant, but it's the only thing we have right now, which is the Autism Hour. So like they say we'll take a department store or a grocery store where they'll dim the lights to make the lights softer and less harsh. Then they will turn off all the music, so there's no music blaring anywhere. And then they ask shoppers for that hour to be more courteous. But the main thing is that don't just do it for an hour. Why can't it just be a standard in stores? Or even like, why can't it be that hour every day?
To show what support is available, the guest services team at Gunwharf Quays shopping centre in Portsmouth told us what they do to help their customers with sensory disorders.
We have created a sensory guide and a picture guide to ease any concerns and give more information to guests before visiting the centre. You can also use these in conjunction with our virtual tour, which gives you an in-depth look at our centre before coming. Here at Gunwharf Quays, we recognise the Hidden Disability Lanyard Scheme. This is a national scheme, and our brand partners and guest services teams are all trained to recognise this. The guest services suite is positioned in the central square, and you can get these free of charge. The sensory backpacks can be hired free of charge from guest services in Central Square. Guests can choose the items to put in the backpack based on their needs. These include ear defenders, communication tools, sensory toys, books, and sensory shopping guides.